Former First Lady Michelle Obama is opening up about what it was like for her family to leave the White House after the election of President Trump. Her memoir, Becoming, which went on sale yesterday, is already a bestseller. In it, the former First Lady details her very unlikely path from growing up in a very small apartment in Chicago's South Side to living at the most famous address in the country, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We spoke with Mrs. Obama in Chicago about her book and asked about the current state of American politics. It seems that whatever the Obama administration has done, it seems the current administration wants to undo. How do you handle that when you look at the work that you all have done?
You know, the truth is that the presidencies isn't ours to own. It's the people's jobs. It's not how me and Barack feel, because we occupied that seat for 8 years and did the best that we could do, and the next president that is voted in gets to do the same thing. You know, the question that we have to ask as citizens and as voters, what direction do we want our country to go in? And we saw here that when you sit out, sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you don't. That's the nature of our democracies.
I will faithfully execute.
Why do you think Donald Trump won this election? You probably don't spend much time thinking about it.
Because a lot of people came to the polls and a lot of people didn't. Our democracy is clear. It's just sometimes people think my vote doesn't count. And that's just so wrong. Voting matters. And the people who go to the polls determine how the country is going to be led. The notion that voting doesn't work, that it's fixed, no, it's not. You know, we saw in this midterms, people wanted the country to move in a different direction, and they came out in record numbers and they voted. And that's how it works.
Our motto is, when they go low, we go high.
Do you still believe when they go low, we go high?
Absolutely.
After all that has happened?
Absolutely. You know, what's the alternative? You know, because going low means you're operating from your place of emotion. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean you're operating from a place of results. More often than not, you don't get results when you go low. You just, you know, get your attitude out. When you're in the White House and you have that platform and that responsibility where every word matters, you know, you're often thinking, or at least Barack and I often thought, is what we're about to say going to help? Is it going to move the needle forward? Or is it just going to make us feel vindicated in the moment? And you learn that vindication in the moment is so short term. Going high doesn't mean you don't have feelings and that you don't express feelings, that you don't acknowledge hurt or pain or anger. You know, that's not what going high is. Going high means now you have the feeling. How do you express that feeling in the world, and how do you do that responsibly?
You end your book with "Let's let kindness in." You still feel optimistic about our country and we as a people, we as a nation.
Because I lived in the country, you know. I traveled the country. I saw the heart of who we are. Forget race or party or ethnicity or gender. People agree with us or not. People were kind. People are worried. People have issues, but everybody is working for the same thing, the same goal. And I got to see that part of America.
Well, she just still remains a class act. And everywhere I went, I was now carrying the book around because now you can say we have it. People would say, ask her to run, ask her to run. And that's the one question I didn't ask her because I know she's sick of it and I know it's not going to happen. She said, I lived that life for 8 years and that's just not something that interests her.
It's nice to hear that each of her actions is value-based.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That it's solution-focused. It's not about an emotional, make you feel better in the moment, as she said. Everything is solution-focused. It's how to be a leader, how to set an example. And I know we're going to hear more of your interview.
And she summed it up well by saying the presidency doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the American people.
I thought that was a
well
good
said,
answer. Very good answer.